Okay, we are now beginning the second part of indicator 18. In the first part, I had explained to you the different conversion measurement units and things like that. But now, as you can see, our learning target, I can convert measurements using ratios, okay? So you will see questions like this on the board. How many seconds are in 8 minutes? How many liters are in 2,500 milliliters? So it's really simple. If you write it out as a ratio, it becomes a lot simpler. So if I'm saying how many seconds are in 8 minutes, first I have to figure out in 1 minute, how many seconds do I have? Okay, so this is the best way to do it. In 1 minute, I have how many? I have 60 seconds. Okay, so we all know that in 1 minute we have 60 seconds. So therefore, in 8, I always put the equal to because we are trying to make a proportion. All right, it becomes this is equal to this, so it becomes really easy to calculate. And I'm going to show you two different methods. It would be sensible to get used to the proportion method because we definitely have it on unit 12 later on. Okay, so it is good to know about cross products and that method. Okay, the proportion method. So if 1 minute is 60 seconds, 8 minutes is how many seconds? So if you write it out like this, remember, put the minute with the minute on the top, second with the second. Don't put minute here and the second here, or second here and minute here. Okay, you've got to put the same unit. So if you put minute on the top, on the other side of the equal to sign, also you will put minute. If you put seconds here, on the other side also you'll put seconds. Then it becomes easy to calculate. All right, now this one is pretty clear cut. I can look at this. The first way to do it, if there's a clear cut solution, is like if I look at this one, I know that 1 times 8 gave me 8. Okay, so whatever I do to the numerator, I do the same thing to the denominator. So I will do 60 times 8 and I will get 480 seconds. So this gives me a clear-cut answer as to how to solve this. Okay, so in 8 minutes, I will have 480 seconds. Now, let me show you the proportion cross products method. Okay, so this was one way to do it. This was one way. Let me show you a second way. All right, you'll get the same answer no matter what. So again, 1 minute over 60 seconds is equal to 8 over x. We're going to write this algebraically like this because x is the variable that is standing for a number which we need to calculate. Okay, so when I say cross products in proportions, it means this. Okay, it means this. This numerator times this denominator is equal to this numerator times this denominator. So remember the x, okay? So this basically means 1 times x is equal to 60 times 8. Okay? So any number times 1 is that number itself. Okay? And that is the property of multiplication, that means the multiplication property of 1. Okay, so x times 1 is x is equal to 60 times 8, and so therefore x is equal to 480. And this x is actually seconds because we are trying to find how many are there, how many seconds are in 8 minutes. So we just solved it straight up like this. So this is 480 seconds. Okay, but this is the cross products method. I want to show that to you also. Okay, let's do another problem. And let's look at the second problem. Okay, and I just want to show you the visual that I had shown you earlier. That is a really easy way to do it also. Remember, you're going from liters to milliliters. From up, you're going down. Okay, so we have, if you have King Hector died Monday was a liter, drinking, chocolate, milk. So we are coming from here down here, which is 1, 2, 3 zeros. Okay, 3 zeros over here. And so now we're trying to see, okay, we're trying to see how many liters are in 2500 milliliters. So you're seeing how many liters. So the number is going to go down. That means you're dividing. Okay, so that'll be how many liters are in 2500 milliliters. So all I do is I am going to divide by 1000 because you're going down, and something that has 3 zeros is 1000. So this is 2500. So I will do 2500, and since how many liters are there, so it's going to be a smaller number. And so when you're dividing, please don't waste time on long division. If I have zeros, this is what I do. 1, 2, 3 zeros. Okay, and you start at the end. If there's a decimal, start at the decimal. If there's no decimal, start here and go 1, 2, 3. So that has just saved you a lot of long division effort, and you get 2 and 5/10 liters are in 2500 milliliters. Okay, so just want to show that to you all. Okay. The next thing that I'm going to show you is your, in 3 inches, how many feet do I have? Okay, so let's go ahead and do this one. 1 inch, first and foremost, you need to know, 1 foot has how many inches? Okay, so 1 foot is 12 inches. I'm going to write it over 12 inches. All right. Next thing is asking, how many feet are in 3 inches? All right. So I'm going to show you 2 ways you can do this. All right. There are 2 ways you can do this. One is, I know that 12 divided by something gives me 3. Okay. So I can do 12 divided by 4, because I know that if I had gone the other way around, it would be 3 times 4, right? So 12 divided by 4 gave me 3. So whatever I do here, I have to do the same thing over here. I have to divide by 4, okay? And if you take 1 whole and you divide it into 4 different parts, you get 4 quarters, right? So therefore, this would be 2500 feet. Okay, so that gives you 2500 feet, because basically what did I just do? I took 1 and I divided it by 4. You know how to do decimals now. This is a smaller number. Put your decimal behind the whole number, decimal above decimal. Since I cannot divide the 1 by 4, I put a 0. I annex a 0. 2 times 4 gives me 8. And I subtract and I get it 2. Annex another 0. Bring this down. And 4 times 5 is 20. But if I was using logic and mathematics and thinking about it, think about if I have 1 whole and I divide into 4 parts, I get quarters. Right? Think of money. In $1, I have 4 quarters. So that's exactly what I was thinking mathematically when I put this measurement. Okay? Let me show you another way you could do this. All right. Another way you could have done this is, well, I could have also done, let me show you. 1 over 12 is equal to how much over 3? Let's say I went backwards, because normally what I do is I go the same Whatever I do to the numerator, I do to the denominator, right? So if I go backwards and I go like this and I say, all right, 3 times 4 is 12. So here it's going to, because the arrow is going in a different format, this is going to be opposite of multiplication, which is division. Okay? And then 1 divided by 4, 1 divided by 4 parts, you get 2500. So this is another way to do it. All right? And then the fourth way is the cross products way that I was talking to you about. When you write a proportion, so you write 1 over 12 is equal to x over 3. Okay? So now, if you remember this, and I do 1 times 3 is equal to 12 times x. So we have 12x is equal to 1 times 3, which is 3. All right. Now, later on, we will be using our properties, in order to, when we do equations. But I'm going to just show this to you right now. This is an option for you if you want to do it. Since this is attached to the variable, this means multiplication. So whatever is attached to the variable is the part that you need to get rid of, because you're thinking 12 times what gives me 3? So if you think of it mathematically, you can say, think of it if you had a fraction. This means 12 times what will give me is going to give me 3. So that means I will have to multiply it with a smaller number to get 3. So if I do times 1/4, I get 3, right? Because where fractions are concerned, look, 1 and here. 3 times 1 is 3 is equal to 3. So it becomes an equation. But let's do it the proportion way. 12x is equal to 3. So since this is multiplication, the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 12. Because I'm trying to divide by what is attached to the variable. See what I was telling you, why? Because you're trying to find out what is x. Okay, so that's what you're trying to find. So now, 12 divided by 12 gives me 1. So I have x left. X is equal to 3/12, which in simplest form is 1/4. And 1/4 is nothing but 2500. So same thing. You can choose whichever works for you in order to help you with this one. All right? Let's do the next one, number 4. And that is asking, and in this one, the proportion method will really come in handy. Okay? It's saying 13 ounces is how many pounds round to the nearest tenth. Okay? So this is what I can do. I know that 1 pound is 16 ounces. All right? So therefore, it's asking how many pounds is in 13 ounces. Basically, this is what it's asking. All right? So in order to find this, if I had done cross products like this, and let's say this is x, okay, I would have got 16x is equal to 1 times 13, which is 13. And then since this is a multiplication and it's attached to the variable, I'm trying to 16 times what gives me 13. And the best way to do that is to divide both sides by 16, because opposite of multiplication is division. Okay? And so I take what's attached here and I divide it by 16. Divided by 16, because whatever I do on one side of the equation, it's an equation, so it has to be balanced. And so therefore 16 divided by 16 gives me 1, and 1 times x is equal to, now I just divide. All right, so if I do 13 divided by 16, always put the decimal so you know where it will go. It will go after the whole number. And then you've done decimal division. So decimal goes above decimal. 13 is not divisible by 16 because smaller. So I'm going to put a 0 here. and then I'm going to annex a 0. Okay, then I will do, all right, what times 16 could give me 130 or less? And then if I think it's 8 times 16, I'm going to get 128. And then I subtract and I get a 2. Annex another 0, bring that down. And then I know that 1 times 16 is 16, and I get 4. Annex another 0, bring it down. And I know that 16 times 2 is going to give me 32. But look at what the step said, round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so in order to round to the nearest tenth, I don't even have to go all this. I just had to go to the 100th place value. I could have just gone till here. Okay, and so in order to round to the 10th place value, we know that this is tenths. The next one is 100th, and then thousands and so on. But I need to round only to the 10th place value. So I'm going to underline the tenths and look at the 100th. If the 100th place is 5 or higher, this will become 9/10. However, if it is less than 5, this is going to stay the same. So this is going to become just this. So it is equal to, if it's saying how many pounds, it is 8/10 pounds. Okay, this is 8/10 pounds are in 13 ounces. So this would be this answer. Okay, so this is just using your cross product method. Okay, the last problem there, it is saying how many pounds, no, 6,000 pounds is how many tons. So pretty clear cut. 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. Okay, so therefore, how many tons are there in 6,000 pounds? Okay, so in this, guys, all you have to do is pretty clear from here to here. What are you doing? You're doing times 3. Okay, so whatever you do to the denominator, do the same thing up here, times 3, and your answer is 3 tons are 6,000 pounds. You could have even done the cross product. It doesn't matter. You will still get the same answer. This is what I mean. 1 over 2,000 is equal to x over 6,000, because that's what the missing thing that I'm trying to find. So 1 times 6,000, because we are doing this, and is equal to x times 2,000. So this gives me 2,000. X is equal to 6,000. And so therefore, since this is attached to the variable, this means multiplication. Opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2,000. And I end up with x is equal to 3. So 3 tons is my answer. Okay, so this is how we show measurements. You will be given this is equal to this or this is equal to this. But once again, please remember that gallon man thing that I taught you with the part 1 of this lesson. And then 1 liter is equal to this much, or that other problem also we could have done as a proportion, though I just showed you on this one how many liters in 2,500. I just showed you that you're coming down 3, you're going from the bigger to the smaller, so it would be division. If I was going from smaller to bigger, it would be the other way around. So all that I could have done over here, I could have written that 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. So I could have written it as a proportion and solved it. That's all I'm trying to do this one. So 1 liter is 1,000 milliliter. And so how many liters are there in 2,500 ml? So this is another way you could have written it out which I just showed you that you're going up or down, and then how much you're going down. So that's how many zeros you're dividing by. But this could have been done like this also. Just want to show this to you. Okay, so this would become 1000x is equal to 2500 times 1, which is 2500. Divide both sides by 1000. And so you end up with x is equal to 2 and 5/10 liters. So here's the proportion method. Just want to show that was also an option rather than just going up or down. But up or down makes it so much easy when you're showing the work. You can just say I'm going from here to here. That has 3 zeros because I'm going up 3 or I'm going down 3, whichever way. Remember, if you're going up, it'll be multiplying. Coming down, it will be dividing. So with that one, okay? But most of the proportions, the measurement will be given to you, and then you set it up as a proportion, as a ratio, and then you solve it. All right? Have a wonderful day, guys.